Um, this is going to be a totally unscripted thing, and I'm not going to have any visuals in this. Or that's just I'm just lazy, but um, I find myself just feeling a need to talk with this about someone, and it's so late in the night that I don't have anyone to talk to, so I'm making a YouTube video, and so now all of 3 people can find this in a week and put this on in the background as they do something else. That's fine. This is this is kind of just for me to talk it out almost to myself. But what this is in regards to seeing a lot of noteworthy Roblox games just really fall apart due to insanely stupid developer decisions. Decisions. I can't speak. And I kind of just want to, for one, briefly talk about what they are and kind of give my thoughts on it. And then I have a little segment at the end of kind of a fourth thing of I've been very fascinated by the community's reactions to each of these, particularly the last one. And so I've just kind of had all these thoughts in my head, and I don't even have a script. I thought about this in the shower a little bit ago, and I just said, you know what? I'm just gonna yap about this. And yeah. So first off, I'll go in chronological order. There was Grace. So Grace, to the 2 people who are watching this because they're subscribed to me, you might recognize Grace because the last video I made was about it. I kind of talked about why Grace, and particularly Sorrow's Domain, was so interesting to me. Well, the I'm going from memory here, so please forgive me. The lead developer's girlfriend of Grace was caught consistently making racist and homophobic remarks. I can't remember if it was just racism or also homophobia. But point is, Grace, developer's girlfriend, was caught um, consistently saying a lot of nasty things, and beyond that, she and her boyfriend, so her boyfriend being Grace, lead developer, defended the actions. It wasn't like this was something that they went, "Oh my gosh, you're right. This is horrible to say. I won't do this again." It was sort of a, "Well, actually, why is this a big deal?" And I what's kind of funny is upon initially, when I very first learned about this, that was kind of my thought too. I was like, are we really canceling another game developer because someone said something once? Um, but this goes beyond that. The consistency and level of it go beyond that, and also the defending it goes beyond it. And it sounds like Grace's development is probably not going to continue because of this. And it, just from a consumer standpoint, that sucks because I really enjoyed Grace. I like the great gameplay of Grace for one, but I was extremely excited to see a game handling Christian themes properly. I really thought what the developer was going for was awesome and very scripturally accurate. And so it's just such a shame to see this go down. But, if you're it's certainly hypocritical if you're going to make a game like this and then support vile actions. It's a bold choice. And, there's a level of we're all sinners and we all have our imperfections. Um, and at the same time, eh, again, I'm kind of just I'm staring at my wall as I record this. I'm just kind of rambling, going from memory. But it's just like you could have just not. Like this is really this is one of those things where it's like you and your girlfriend could have just not. You really could have just not. And you'll actually see that as a very common theme throughout this whole rant of so much of this can really be boiled down to one sentence of just you you could have just not done what you did, and we would have been fine. But you had to go and do this thing, or you had to go and support this thing, or defend this thing, and now, you know, you held on to the earth instead of holding on to heaven. And, you know, you're making a game about that, and yet you can't follow it through yourself. That's that's rough, man. But it's your walk, it's your journey. I hope things turn out later, but I don't know. Again, I'm just rambling, so this is going nowhere. But it's just it's just hard to watch. But there does need to be some accountability. And so while I'm not happy to see Grace fall apart, either even just from an objective standpoint, but also a bias standpoint of I liked the game and I like where it was going. If this is the consequence that happens, then this is the consequence that happens, because this sort of thing, this is what happens, man. Like, this is what happens. I feel like I'm going in circles on that, so I'm going to move on to the second topic, which is I'm actually going to have to Google this really quick. Was it Doom by Fate? Am I getting the name right? Doom. Yes, Doom by Fate. Okay. So, again, I mentioned it's going to be a theme, but this just goes back to why did you do this? Okay, so Doom by Fate is one of 2,000 asymmetrical killer games in Roblox. If you don't know what an asim game is, it's not the point of the video, but just very briefly, one person is the killer, everyone else is a survivor of some sort. The survivor needs to live, the killer needs to kill them all. And asim games are fairly popular. Dead by Daylight's the most well-known one. But they're very popular in Roblox for some reason, which I might have to research that later. Because I feel like Dead by Daylight is the only asim game I can really think of outside of Roblox that's popped off. But there's so many asim games on Roblox. Anyways, um, to my understanding, Doom by Fate released a killer. They released 1x. A lot of asim games like building off of Roblox lore. So I don't know the lore of 1x too well. It's like 1x, 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 1. But the lore in one word is he's a hacker, right? He's a well-known hacker, I think. That might be wrong. He's a bad dude. Okay, he's evil in the Roblox lore. Um, and in his depictions, he's always been very glitchy, like intentionally glitchy. So I think he's been in sort of that glitcher exploiter role. And so if you look at Forsaken, this is where having gameplay would be nice, but I'm just yapping. If you look at a game like Forsaken, a lot of his moves are based on sort of glitches in that way. He literally gives you the glitched debuff if you get hit by him. Um, and so in this other Roblox game, in Doom by Fate, for some for some unknown reason, the designers of 1x decided to make him the world's greatest epilepsy test ever. Like, it it hurt my eyes to watch. And I play Ultra Kill. I play Ultra Kill a lot. I enjoyed the fraud layer. I feel like I have a tolerance for that sort of strobing, flashing, a lot of things moving at once. I feel like I have a tolerance for that, and my eyes were hurting watching the like unedited 1x gameplay on Doom by Fate. I've never played the game before, but just watching the video, I was like, oh my gosh, how did this get through production? And what's so interesting about this is like you have to try to make this. It's not like all of these were placeholder elements that were going to get filled in later. You have to try to make a character this bright and flashy and intentionally glitchy. This was done intentionally. Why? Why would they? Why? So that's bad enough. The real controversy with Doom by Fate, there was this report that this individual who went by Kit um, suffered an epileptic seizure and died because of 1x in Doom by Fate. Now, what's really interesting about that is, to my understanding, and again, this is where I will say for the 20th time, I am just yapping in a room. I could have done more research on this. Um, it seems like that story was actually false or like hasn't really been proved true yet. Like it seems like it might have been a fake story just to throw shade at Doom by Fate and kind of make it like, hey, this is how bad it could be. And because 1x was such a walking epilepsy test, it was believed until I think it was Keycraft did an interview with the person and seemed like the person didn't really have any evidence for it. But one of the developers of Doom by Fate just had the worst response possible. Like, to my understanding, this person was just basically brushing it off as like, why do you care that our game killed someone? Huh? Why? Why? Why would? Why would you respond that? Like, even if even if somehow in your heart of hearts you actually held on to that opinion of, lol, whoops, we killed someone, why would you make that statement publicly? What are you doing? Why are you like this? What happened? How did we get here? And so the entire game's reputation is completely tanked because of that. And it just like there were so many chances to have avoided this. You could have not created this character. You could have not responded this way, but you did. And now we're here. Are you happy? Is this where you wanted to end up? What did you think was going to happen? It's just so weird to me, man. It's my my psychology degree is kicking in. I just want to know why. Like I don't even I mean, part of me wants to say, I'm glad your life is falling apart now, even though that feels wrong in some ways. We'll get into that later. But like, there's a part of me that just deeply wants to know why. Why did you do this? Why would you make these choices? What was going through your head? Just why, man? Why? I don't get it. It segues fairly well into Roblox Game 3. All of this happened in the span of like a week, by the way, I haven't mentioned that yet. All three of these games that I'm talking about, these were like within maybe 10 days. I'm trying to think. Grace was like the 31st. It came out, I think, and today's the 9th. It was really this came out late on the 8th. So this was like 10 days apart. All this is happening in the span of just over a week. So the third game we're talking about is Pressure. This is a slightly this is a newer story. This came out like 11 or like probably 14 hours time of recording. This came out. So please go inform yourself if this is the first time you're hearing about this, especially since I'm not having any visuals or graphics up. Please go to research on yourself. Research on yourself. Do research for yourself. But the lead developer of Pressure was just accused with overwhelming evidence, but since it is under a day, I will stick with accused. Was accused of sexually assaulting his music composer for the game. Why? I'm just. I've been going for 15 minutes. I'm already almost tired talking about this so much, but it just And maybe I should have started with this one because this is definitely the most egregious one. I feel like because the first two, not saying the first two, not at all saying the first two were good, but this third one is an action that was taken versus words being spoken. And all are bad. I'm not, I don't even want to get stuck in this point because I'm going to dig myself a grave. But you ruin someone's life, man. I mean, sexual assault ruins lives. Okay, you have ruined this person's life, and so there's a part of me, well, not a part of me. From an objective standpoint, I feel no sorrow or remorse watching what you've built fall apart. Um, and it sucks because Pressure, I liked Pressure. Um, I didn't play it too much, but Pressure was a fascinating game. It was really, really interesting. It had so much going for it. It had really good voice acting. It had really good models. They had the Wall Dweller update recently that was terrifying. Like it was good. And it's just all gone now. That's all gone. All the models got uploaded. Um, I'll talk about that more in the fourth part. But all the models got uploaded. All the voice actors have jumped ship. Every single voice actor in the game has left. Painter left. Gianni left. So Sebastian Sazalis left. Navi left. HQ left. Um, that just everyone left. Um, the programmers left. The modelers left. The music composer obviously left. Like there's no one left at Urban Shade now. It's just Zeal. It's just him. And the few people that are making the career destroying choice of sticking with him. And it's like, again, maybe this is callous to say, but part of me is just thinking, you could have just not done this. You could have literally just not sexually assaulted Ren at, was it RDC? I don't remember. But it's like, you could have just not fucking sexually assaulted someone. It's just mind blowing to me. It's just, it's like, is sexual desire really that powerful? Like, is this, it just, it boggles my mind that people are willing to throw away their lives for 10 minutes of pleasure and power. It is just ridiculous to me. And I mean, I don't want to come off as defending the villain here, but especially, I have that psychology background. I'm going into, the mental health field and therapy. And so part of me is just wondering what happened in this guy's life growing up that led him to make this decision. Doesn't excuse the decision. I'm not defending his decision. I'm not saying that actually he had a troubled past and therefore it's okay that he sexually assaulted this girl. No, of course not. No, it's never okay to do that. But I just want to, maybe it's my desire to do something about it. Maybe it's my desire to want to fix something or prevent this, particularly to prevent this in the future, right? Because this needs to stop happening. Like this, it is ruining lives every time this happens. And so I want to identify what led up to this so that we can identify other situations and stop this from happening. And that's really where I'm coming from. I mean, you know, bro, bro destroyed someone else's life and now his own life is destroyed. That's collateral. I mean, that's karma. I don't like that word, but you know, that's what happens. But like, can this stop happening? Like, this is three. I mean, I had never heard of Doom by Fate, admittedly, but Grace and Pressure were both games that I was very fond of. And I never heard of Doom by Fate, but I like Forsaken, which is hilarious because Forsaken has had its own controversies, don't get me wrong. Um, Forsaken has the Forsaken dev team has done a good job of distancing themselves from the problem. A good job, didn't say a perfect job. There could be a video on that. I don't want hopefully I'm not invalidating myself by still playing the game once in a while. But it just is. I feel like I'm reiterating the point too much to where it's just losing its value at this point, but it just you didn't have to do this. You just really didn't have to do this, but now you did. You did. Now we're here, and now your life is falling apart. And you know, you could have not destroyed Ren's life, and your own life probably would have been fine. But shockingly, actions have consequences. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just painful to watch. It's just sad to watch. It just hurts. Just hurts my heart. Hurts my spirit. It's just painful to watch. And I don't have a great segue for this last part, but I wanted to spend a little bit of time as well talking about um, general community reactions to this. So, um, Zeal, the lead dev of Pressure, made a response to his situation on Twitter, which I didn't read in full because I had just woken up and frankly, dude, I don't care. Not I don't care if like I don't care about the situation. I wouldn't be talking about it if I didn't care about the situation, but just like at this point what you have to say in this sort of public speaking type thing or like public relations type speak, it's noise at this point. But what was kind of interesting to me, and this was part of the catalyst for this video, this alongside the whole situation, was if you went to that Twitter post and you went and looked at the comments of that video, like almost every single comment I saw on that Twitter post was just people saying, go fuck yourself. And I don't get that either. I really don't get that either. I don't know how that helps. I don't know what you are accomplishing by adding your own go fuck yourself gif in the comments section of this post. I don't know how that helps Ren. I don't know how that helps Zeal. I don't know how that helps yourself. I just it it just every time a situation like this happens, it just turns into this burn the witch type thing where we've identified the evil, so let's all dogpile it so we feel better about ourselves. Like, great example, I said I would come back to this. Um, Someone on the Pressure team leaked or not even leaked, just uploaded the entire model base for the game. All of the models for the game have been uploaded. And I mean, even again, like I'm pretty sure I'm going from memory here, but like the post was labeled as like one final fuck you. Here's all the models for the game. And you're trying to make yourself look good, I guess. And, I mean, the models are cool. The models are one of the things of the game I like, so it's cool to have access to those. But it just it how does that help? How does that do anything? That how does that is it supposed to hurt Zeal more? Is it supposed to make you feel better about yourself because you're doing something. Like, I don't I don't understand how this is supposed to benefit the situation. And it's the same thing with all the people in the comments saying, "Go F yourself." What what are we doing? Why are we doing that? This I'm not saying we should be rushing to Zeal's defense. I'm not saying we should say, "Actually, Zeal, I think you were in the right for sexually assaulting Ren." No, of course not, but I'm just trying to figure out what dogpiling on Zeal does. And I think part of it is that it doesn't do anything. It looks like you're doing something when you're actually doing nothing. And, that kind of goes back to me saying, like, I want to know what happened. I want to know more about this situation. I want to know what happened in Zeal's life that led to him doing this because I want to do something tangible about this. I want to find ways to identify people who are possible threats, like people who have an increased chance of committing these crimes, and treating them so that they don't screw up someone else's life and they don't screw up their own life. This isn't defending the villain, this is preventing someone from becoming a villain. This is undoing the tragic backstory so that they don't become this type of person. That's what I want to do. I want to figure out why we're stuck in this loop. I want to know what happened in Simon's life and his girlfriend's life to where they're making these comments and think it's okay. I don't I don't know what could have happened in the Doom by Fate person's life. I think that's well, okay. I'm gonna clarify that. Sorry. The making the epilepsy 1x. I don't think that's a what happened in your life. I think that's just a stupid decision. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I don't know how tragic life backstory causes you to create an epilepsy character. Um, if you want to explain that to me, let me know. But I think that was just a stupid decision. But then to say for the moderator, developer, whoever they were, for then after that situation to hear that someone supposedly died due to your game and to go lol lamau even. Why? What happened? Why are we like this? Why are you doing this? What happened in your life that this is your opinion of human life? Why is human life so worthless to you? What happened? Right? And to me, to look at these situations and to just say, go fuck yourself, and then tune out. It distances yourself from the problem, yes, but it doesn't help prevent future problems. And I think part of the reason that these situations keep happening is because we're not preventing them. We are only leaving once the corpse is discovered. And I would rather prevent the corpse from happening. And this video isn't going to do much about that. I mean, first off, no one's going to listen to this. no, no one's going to, no one is hearing me at this point. I've been yapping for 30 minutes. There's no visuals. Uh, but it, like, I just don't get it. I, I think that's where I'm left off, is even more like, yes, I'm angry. Yes, I am hurt. I'm disappointed. I'm upset. And more than all of that, I'm just confused. I'm at a loss, really. I'm just bewildered. I'm unable to understand why. Like, I mean, I spent 30 minutes talking when I really could have just said why, but I don't know. I feel a little better now that I've yapped about this. Um, Again, I mean, I don't think anyone's gonna find this, but it's I wish the conversation around these things would shift from, well, screw this person, I hope their life falls apart too. There's room for that, but I wish the focus would really be more on, can we stop this from happening? Because I've seen some people asking, can this stop happening? And I want that too, but can this stop happening requires something to actually happening. So just asking hypothetically, can this stop happening? Of course it can, but it's going to keep happening because we're not stopping it. And so I just want to figure out, like, why can't, like, how does this stop happening? Can we actually get this to a point where it stops happening? Or at the very least happens less? Because we live in a broken world. It's not going to stop happening. There is never going to be an infinite day since last incident. But this, I mean, this is three in a week, man. This is, and you know, to say three in a week ignores the fact that a lot of these situations actually happened years. Well, not a lot of these. Um, Grace is recent. The Doom by Faith thing just happened. The situation with Zeal happened like what, 3 or 4 years ago, and this was just brought to light. So that's a little bit of a different thing in that it's not that this happened yesterday, but that, it happened years ago and now it's, consequences have finally caught up to actions. And, I mean, I don't know if my heart has the capacity at 4:30 in the morning to contemplate how many, I mean, how few minutes between sexual assaults happen in the real world, right? If we're not just looking at Roblox developers, how often are people being sexually assaulted or being victims of racism or bigotry, or I mean, hell, dude, even fucking bad epilepsy warnings, non-existent epilepsy warnings. Like, it's not that this sort of thing is going to magically stop happening because it happens less on Roblox, but I, it's just, I don't get it, man. I think I think that's where I'm gonna end this rant, honestly, is just with, I don't get it. I don't get it. I want to get it. I want to understand what's going on, but it's just such it's a broken world, and it's just it's just painful to watch this happen. And I feel like I had to talk about it a little bit, even if it was to the void, even if it was to the white wall across my room. I just I just felt a need to talk about this. So I'll leave it there. I know there's no visual indicators of when this video is ending, so I'm saying it now. This is the end. Thank you for listening. Uh, I should be thanking the wall. I don't know who's still here at this point. If you are, sorry. No, but yeah, I'll I will end it there.